Former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has been barred from holding public office for the next 8 years. The country's Supreme Court ruled on June 30th that he had abused his political power, attacked the electoral system, and misused the media.
Declaro sua inelegibilidade por 8 anos seguintes ao pleito de 2022.
5 judges agreed that he used government channels and social media to promote his campaign and spread misinformation about Brazil's electoral system.
E depois parte para divulgação de mentiras, notícias absolutamente fraudulentas. Não são opiniões possíveis, são mentiras.
The ruling focused on a meeting that Bolsonaro held in July last year, where he told foreign ambassadors that the country's electoral voting system was rigged and the elections of the then upcoming election could be manipulated. This, despite the fact that Brazil's electoral system had long been internationally recognized as safe and secure.
Instigou a crença de que a adulteração de resultados era uma ameaça que rondava o pleito de 2022.
Brazilians celebrated the ruling across the country. The judgment marks the first time a Brazilian president has been barred from holding public office for election violations. Bolsonaro's supporters attacked the ruling on social media. His far-right Liberal Party shared a video in his defense.
One of the great presidents of any country in the world, President Bolsonaro.
Bolsonaro denounced the judgment against him, calling it politically motivated.
Quem se comportou mais do que eu? Alguns até reclamam, né? Mas eu não saí das 4 linhas. Eu estou há 6 meses fora do governo. Nem estava aqui no Brasil no dia 8 de janeiro. Continua a perseguição o tempo todo.
Bolsonaro's ongoing attacks on the country's electoral system led many of his followers to question the results of last year's October elections, which former leftist President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva won by more than 2 million votes. Bolsonaro's followers protested the election results. They camped outside military barracks, demanding that the armed forces intervene to block Lula's inauguration. On January 8th, they attacked Brazil's capital, ransacking government buildings in a copycat performance of the January 6th Capitol invasion by Trump supporters in 2021. Thousands of pro-Bolsonaro rioters were swiftly jailed by Brazilian law enforcement. Bolsonaro is now barred from running for office until 2030, and this ruling is the culmination of just one of more than a dozen cases pending against the former president.
There's not a short list of conducts that he committed that violate the law, whether it's electoral law, whether it's a criminal law, and I'm sure he's going to suffer more consequences from what he did.
Many analysts believe it could be the end of his political career, but it will not likely be the end of his far-right movement. His wife, Michele Bolsonaro, is a devout evangelical who posted on Instagram following the ruling that their dream is more alive than ever. "I am at your orders, my captain," she wrote. Bolsonaro has said she could potentially run for office in the next elections. Bolsonaro also has 3 politician sons, all of whom are prominent figures in Brazil's far right, but they have also faced criminal and political investigations.
Espero que a inegibilidade seja apenas o primeiro passo para que se investigue devidamente todos os significados do bolsonarismo, dito Bolsonaro família. É isso.
The Supreme Court ruling has left some wondering how Bolsonaro could be stripped of his right to hold office in Brazil, while his idol Trump in the United States is still a leading candidate for the Republican nomination next year. For legal scholars, the answer comes down to the differing role of free speech rights in each country.
Bolsonaro is basically being punished by something that he said about the electoral system. And in the United States, saying things, propagating lies and misinformation about the electoral system I don't think it would be punishable at all under any circumstance because of how strong the protection to free speech rights is in the United States. And, in the past, I think a lot of people thought of this as an advantage of the United States in comparison to other societies. But I think more recently, there has been a rethinking of this, and there has been, an understanding that it's not that other countries lack free speech rights. It's just that they have other rights that they balance free speech rights against. And in the case of Brazil, because we all understood in the 2018 election that misinformation was a serious threat to democracy, the legal system began to offer a response.
In other words, for Brazil, democracy and fair elections trumps people's right to share and spread clearly biased information, and that includes the president. For The Real News, I'm Michael Fox.
Thank you so much for watching The Real News Network, where we lift up the voices, stories, and struggles that you care about most. And we need your help to keep doing this work, so please tap your screen now, subscribe, and donate to The Real News Network. Solidarity forever.